sending greetings to the entire Georgetown University class of 2024, and special love to
our daughter, Nicolette Carrion.
Hey, Chris, congratulations for an amazing journey through Georgetown. We're so proud and love you so much.
Congratulations, class of 2024! Go Hoya!
Congratulations, Lucas.
Wish you all the luck and happiness in the world for your future.
So happy for you, Anella. Look at that. That was 4 years ago when you got the acceptance to Georgetown, and now you graduating. Yeah!
Congratulations, Carrie. I love you to the moon and back, and we couldn't be prouder of you.
Hi, Devin. We wish you nothing but the best in all of your future endeavors, and congratulations. We are so proud of you. Hoya Saxa.
Congratulations, Georgetown class of 2024. As a class of 21 grad, I know you're both excited and relieved that all that hard work is behind you. Hoya Saxa.
Gregory and the class of 2024, we wish you all the best in doing your part to make the world a better place.
Congrats, class of 2024! Woo! Congratulations, Anella!
Congratulations! Happy graduation!
Congratulations, Stacy!
Girl, you did it, and you did it all. We are so thrilled of the time you had on the Hill. This is exactly the place you were meant to be.
Hi, Christopher. I'm here in England, and I'm so sorry I couldn't be at your graduation. You're an amazing brother, and I'm so proud of you.
Charlotte, we are incredibly proud of you and everything you've been able to accomplish. Congratulations on your graduation.
We love you so much.
Congratulations, Dana. We love you. Yeah!
Congratulations, Anella! ¡Felicidades, Abril!
Estamos súper orgullosos de ti.
Quiero ser como tú cuando sea grande.
Y felicidades a todos los latinos de Class of 2024. Woo!
Hey, Anella Ramos. All the way from Hawaii, we wanted to wish you and congratulations. We love you.
Congratulations to the class of 2024 on your incredible achievement. Your dedication and hard work have definitely paid off. Hoya Saxa 2024.
Congratulations on your graduation, Kelsey. We are so proud of you.
Hoya Saxa forever.
From the great state of Mississippi, congratulations to the Georgetown class of 2024.
We love you, Allison.
Hoya Saxa.
Congratulations, Olivier Yamamoto.
We are so proud of your achievements at your dream school. You've made your mark on Georgetown. Now go out and make this world a better place.
Congratulations, Sophie Byrne, on your graduation from Georgetown. We're so happy for you.
Hi, Congratulations on your achievement.
We're so proud of you, and we can't wait to see what you do in the future.
Congratulations,
baby.
Congratulations, Sophie. We are very proud of you. Hoya Saxa.
Congratulations, class of 2024.
Congratulations to all of the 2024 Georgetown graduates.
Go Hoyas!
Being a Hoya starts with what's inside. A drive, a passion,
a commitment to something greater than yourself. The experiences we make are the memories we take, animating the spirit that connects each and every one of us. This is your moment. Stop, look inside, and remember why you're here. Each year we come together to celebrate what makes Georgetown special. It can all be found inside our gates, inside our halls, and inside our hearts. Pictures of the past paint the paths to our future. Every step forward is a culmination of your formation. You are here because you were meant to be, supported and driven by a sense of care and propelled into the world as people for others. As we look forward, take what's inside and let it shine outside. Your impact will be felt far and wide.
This is Georgetown, a place of passion and hard work. To be a Hoya, it takes your all. Mind, heart, a pursuit for excellence. We seek out the best in one another and ourselves.
Determined to learn.
Determined to succeed. Determined to have an impact on and off the field.
There goes old Georgetown, that spark that ignites us to set the world on fire.
A calling to reach higher than you ever thought possible.
Working as hard in the classroom as we do in the weight room.
A community rooted in a 500-year-old Jesuit tradition.
DC is our training ground.
The world is our arena.
Together we are stronger.
Together we are unstoppable.
We are Georgetown.
Hey Hoyas! Some call it a superstition and others call it a tradition. You may not think so, but if you've ever tiptoed your way around Georgetown's seal on the steps to Healy Hall, you know exactly what rocks about this famed Georgetown tradition. For the uninitiated, let me explain. It might just save your degree. Legend has it that anyone who steps on the seal won't graduate from Georgetown. If you're curious about the history behind this tradition, we're just as puzzled as you are. Even the professor who wrote the history of Georgetown has no idea. The only rumor we've heard is that over 30 years ago, around Georgetown's 200th anniversary, Georgetown's former president, Father Timothy Healy, met an artist on a plane. Father Healy became so enamored with the idea of having a special mosaic at Georgetown that he offered him the job on the spot. So there you have it. As for when the tradition of stepping around the mosaic started, chances are it was just an urban legend conjured up by a tour guide over the last few decades that caught on. While you may not see anyone step on the illustrious mosaic during the year, keep an eye out for graduates stomping their way down the steps to celebrate their hard-earned degrees. Just be sure not to join them, unless of course you've already graduated. Hoya Saxa! Congrats, Hoyas!
Guys.
Good afternoon. Honored guests, graduating seniors, parents, spouses, and friends, welcome to the graduation of Georgetown University and the 172nd commencement of the School of Medicine. It's wonderful to be together with you on this very, very special moment. It's going to be a wonderful ceremony. As we begin, Dr. Princey Kumar, Professor of Medicine and Microbiology, Chief of the Division of Infectious Disease, and Senior Associate Dean for Students, has been selected by the students to give the invocation. Before she does that, please stand first for the national anthem, which will be led by the Commonwealth Brass Band and graduate Dan Weitz. Please remain standing for the invocation.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early lights what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
God of all blessings, shine your light and send your spirit upon us as we gather to celebrate the graduation of the daughters and sons of Georgetown. Bless these talented women and men whose intellectual curiosity and desire to serve the sick brought them here to us. They came to explore with reverence and wonder the depths of your good creation and become healers of all those who are in need. As you have blessed them with abundant knowledge, bestow upon them now your guiding wisdom, such as their knowledge and their skills will bring healing and comfort to all whom they touch. Bless the parents, spouses, partners, and teachers of our students and all who have helped them become the future hope of medicine. Bless the sick and the needy, whose lives will be touched and whose burdens will be lightened by the knowledge and compassion of these dedicated young physicians. May they always feel your presence in their lives, especially when their work days are long and their nights are filled with doubt as to whether they've really given their very best. We ask this all in your most holy name. Amen.
Thank you, Dr. Kumar, and thank you, soon-to-be Dr. Weitz. It was a wonderful, wonderful performance. Our founder, the most reverend, please be seated. That's an important, that's my only command for the day, so I got it right. Our founder, the Most Reverend John Carroll, first Archbishop of Baltimore and first Catholic bishop in the United States, took legal possession of the land on our hilltop in 1789, and we mark that as our founding date. Our first student, the future North Carolina Congressman William Gaston, arrived in 1791, though our first bachelor's degrees were not awarded until 1817. It was in 1815 that, with enrollments passing the 100 mark, the college's president, Father John Grassi of the Society of Jesus, asked the then Congressman Gaston to establish a federal charter to establish a federal charter, a document that still today sanctions the academic business we do here. Georgetown's charter, the first federal charter in the history of the Republic, has the additional distinction of having been signed by President James Madison, the father of the United States Constitution. It is our custom to initiate academic ceremonies with a reading of that charter, and to discharge that office, I am very pleased to introduce Ms. Marie A. Matson, Secretary of the University.
An act concerning the College of Georgetown in the District of Columbia. Be it enacted by the Senate and House of Representatives of the United States of America in Congress assembled, that it shall and may be lawful for such persons as now are, or from time to time may be, the president and directors of the College of Georgetown within the District of Columbia, to admit any of the students belonging to said college or other persons meriting academical honors to any degree in the faculties, arts, sciences, and liberal professions to which persons are usually admitted in other colleges and universities of the United States, and to issue in an appropriate form the diplomas or certificates which may be requisite to testify to the admission of such degree. Signed, Langdon Cheevis, Speaker of the House of Representatives, John Gaillard, President pro tempore of the Senate, approved March 1st, 1815, James Madison, President of the United States.
And now for a treat. I would like to call to center stage our honorary degree recipient, Dr. Sanjay Gupta. Today, Georgetown University recognizes an exemplar in the fields of medicine, medical journalism, and public service. Multiple Emmy Award-winning chief medical correspondent for CNN, Dr. Sanjay Gupta, a practicing neurosurgeon, has played an integral role in CNN's domestic and international reporting on health and medical news. Dr. Gupta's objective reporting on challenging issues is of great service to his patients, to public health, and to global health, and sets a precedent for those in the field of medical and science journalism. In addition, his dedication to exploring the many ways to care for the emotional and physical well-being of people represents a commitment to care for the whole person that aligns squarely with our core values as physicians and with our Georgetown University values as well. Dr. Gupta received his undergraduate degree from the University of Michigan and his doctorate of medicine from the University of Michigan Medical School. He stayed at his alma mater to complete his residency in neurological surgery and then went to a fellowship year at Sims Murphy Clinic in Memphis, Tennessee. Dr. Gupta joined CNN in 2001, where he gained early recognition for his reporting on the 9/11 terror attacks in New York City and the anthrax attacks. In 2003, as the embedded medical correspondent with the U.S. Navy's Devil Docks Medical Unit, he provided live coverage of the first battlefield operation performed during the Iraq War, and he performed 5 life-saving brain surgeries in a desert operating room. Since then, he has covered some of the most important health stories in the U.S. and around the world, including both natural and man-made disasters, the rollout of the Affordable Care Act, mental health, Ebola, medical marijuana, the Flint water crisis, the opioid crisis, and of course the COVID-19 pandemic. Dr. Gupta's live on-air commentary was paramount to CNN's broadcast coverage of the COVID-19 pandemic. On March 9th, in 2020, he penned an op-ed announcing the network would refer to the novel coronavirus outbreak as a pandemic, ahead of both the World Health Organization and the CDC. From the beginning and through the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, Dr. Gupta reaffirmed his role as a trusted guide to viewers worldwide on navigating between facts and fiction surrounding COVID-19. In addition to his journalism work for CNN, Dr. Gupta is an associate professor of neurosurgery at Emory University Hospital and associate chief of neurosurgery at Grady Memorial Hospital in Atlanta. He also serves as a diplomat of the American Board of Neurosurgery, and in 2019, Dr. Gupta was elected to the National Academy of Medicine, one of the highest honors a doctor may receive in the medical field. In the words of Dr. Sanjay Gupta during the COVID-19 pandemic, misinformation has become as big of an epidemic as the virus itself. In a world where misinformation can spread like wildfire, the pursuit of medical truth becomes an act of defiance. Today, we honor a man whose life's work has been defined by that very defiance, a defiance that has illuminated the path forward in our collective journey towards a healthier, more informed society. In recognition of his unparalleled contributions to the field of medical and science journalism, his steadfast commitment to the pursuit of truth, and his unwavering dedication to public service through journalism, Georgetown University is privileged to bestow upon Dr. Sanjay Gupta the degree of Doctor of Science, honoris causa.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Congress of the United States and by the Board of Directors of Georgetown University, I officially confer the degree of Doctor of Science, honoris causa, on Dr. Sanjay Gupta. And it's now my pleasure to present to you Georgetown's newest alumnus, Dr. Gupta, who will deliver the commencement address.
Thank you. That was emotional. My mom would be so proud. My dad wouldn't believe it. Thank you very much, President DeGioia, Dr. Jones, Dr. Heatley, the faculty, the alumni, all of you parents out there. What a thrill it is for me to be here. Most of all, congratulations, Georgetown's graduates. You know, you're doctors now. That's for life. No matter what you do from here on out, you're doctors, whether you like it or not. It will likely become the most central tenet of who you are. And people are going to have all sorts of notions of who you are, what kind of person you are, what you're capable of doing. Some people will assume you're doing this just to get rich, which reminds me of one of my favorite quotes. Going into medicine for the money is kind of like having sex for the exercise. You'll become the doctors of your neighborhood. Every backyard barbecue are going to be filled with questions about aching backs and strange rashes, even impotence. It's amazing what people will suddenly be comfortable sharing with you. Embrace that. Never shy away from that role. You'll be called on in the hospital, yes, but also in grocery stores, your kids' basketball games, on airplanes, where you should always answer the call, because how many times do you get a chance to save a life? One group of people who will surprisingly not come to you as much as you'd expect, your kids. I have 3 teenage daughters, and if they have a medical problem, they go to mom. Mom's a lawyer, a divorce lawyer at that. Graduates, I am tremendously honored to be here, grateful at the opportunity to share a few words, and frankly humbled that anyone really cares what I have to say. But I wanted to tell you that I did think long and hard about this speech and what to say to all of you. I think it is such a critically important time in your years and your sensibilities. I wanted to make sure that I could offer up something that really made an impact. So I did what so many people do nowadays. I went to ChatGPT. But ChatGPT really couldn't give me any help. So you're stuck with me, a real human, not full of artificial intelligence, but constantly in search of a different sort of AI, authentic intelligence, authenticity, uniquely human. It's part of what I wanted to talk about today. I think your job and your role in our society, it requires authentic intelligence. It is uniquely human. It has been 30 years since I graduated from medical school, and a lot of things have changed. The world is a tremendously different place. We have more faith than ever before, and yet we are more suspicious as well. We value our freedom, and yet too often we live in fear. We spend more money on healthcare than in years past, and yet life expectancy has continued to drop. We can treat and even cure diseases we barely understood a quarter century ago, and yet too often the people who would most benefit from those therapies never have access to them. We need authentic intelligence. The degree you now have, the compassion that it represents, the unique place that you have in our society as shaman, as healers, is truly worth celebrating, because you have the capacity to restore the faith, to reverse some of those tragic trends, and to reassure the people who will come to depend on you. And I got to tell you this, there's going to be times in your life when the trajectory seems a little confused, a little muddled, and you'll come to appreciate just how important the clarion call of compassion will be. You get to wake up every morning knowing your purpose here on earth, and that is an enormous gift and an enormous accomplishment. Now, I will tell you, it comes with certain obligations. You're going to have to protect the legacy of medicine. You're going to have to continue to contribute to its growth, and most importantly, you'll have to respect the sacred bond between you and your patients, making sure it stays sacred. There is no other relationship like it in our society. So remember to be humble and to soak yourself in the privilege of your profession, but never the arrogance. Remember, there is incredible ritual and tradition in caring for patients, and that's been passed down over hundreds of years. Those rituals should never be abused. You'll be standing there in your crisp white coat, and your patient will probably be in a paper or cloth gown, likely fumbling with the ties. You're going to have your tools, bright lights and hammers and blades to shine, bang, and probe, and your patients will be worried, sensitive, and guarded. But here's the thing. They may barely know you, but in that moment, you will be the most important person in their lives. It really is the greatest privilege given by one human being to another, to care for them at their most vulnerable time, to restore them to health when their bodies have betrayed them, to take them to the brink of death if you have to, but promise to return them in better condition than when you started. I didn't really realize or think about much of this when I was in your shoes. It was a confusing time. It was a noisy time. Everyone was always telling me what they thought I should do with my life, and I didn't always know that I could trust what I knew. There was this kid named Danny they used to talk about at the university. And it's a course that he took. He showed up for his first day of class at the beginning of the semester, and after that first class, he never came back until he took the final exam. 100 questions. Professor called him in after the exam and said, "Danny, I don't quite understand this. You came to class that first day, you never came back, and you got a 98 out of 100. I guess I should be asking, how come you didn't get a perfect score?" Danny says, well, Professor, I got to tell you, that first day, you sort of confused me a little bit. Remember what it was that made you happy before everyone else started trying to define it for you. You know what makes your heart swell. You know what makes your breath catch in your throat. You know what makes your chest tighten with anticipation. Remember those things and go get those things, graduates. You are well on your way to the medical part of your life, so I thought I'd spend just a couple of minutes talking about the life part of life. You got a lot of the big rocks in place now, so think of this as the sand in between. A few of the things I know now that I wish I knew then. The right decision is always to be kind. It may not seem like it at the moment. There's going to be a lot of sources of frustration and irritation, but the arc of history is long, and you're always going to feel better if you made the decision to be kind. I've always found that in retrospect, what bothers me the most about those irritating situations is how I reacted to them, even more than the situation itself. So be kind. Take the extra moment to touch in this most human of all professions. And as the great Maya Angelou once said, people may not always remember what you said, they may not remember even what you did, but they will remember how you made them feel. Another lesson, the old adage is, they say, don't fix it if it ain't broke. But 30 years later, I got a bit of a different take on that one. Keep fixing. Not broke somehow means that you've made it perfect. It's not perfect. Nothing is. Now, it is true that perfect can be the enemy of the good. We say that all the time in the operating room so as not to take that extra millimeter of tumor that could lead to catastrophic blood loss. But in this case, it means something else. It means that you have the opportunity to take a bunch of shots on goal. And because you can, you're almost obligated to do so. So keep tinkering, keep improving, keep fixing. It's your obligation to the future. And for me, it kind of gets at this bigger idea that somehow we think of evolution as this steady march toward perfection. Over the last 30 years, though, I've been convinced that's not the way it works. Instead, there are lots and lots of shots on goal. Some too high, some not high enough, some far wide. Progress, it turns out, can be chaotic and messy. So class of 2024, keep fixing. No one has earned the privilege more than you. Also, remember this one. It's important. Don't spend your life continuously trying to prove you are smart. I'll just say it. You're smart. You've proven it. So instead, spend your time becoming wise. There's a difference. A smart person knows the right answers. A wise person knows the right questions. So spend your time, graduates, asking the right questions, even if they seem dumb, because those are often the questions everyone else is too afraid to ask. And along the way, you just might find that you're no longer someone who is continuously memorizing the past, but instead starting to change the future. Respect history, but don't be afraid to make some. You know, graduates, I started asking myself a question many years ago at a time when I was covering a war in a faraway land. I was in the middle of a terrible day. It was this Shamil sandstorm in Iraq, and it was a day that we could not see our hands in front of our face. We had lost all of our air protective cover. It was a day that had just suddenly turned into night. And this young lieutenant came running into our tent, our dusty desert tent. We are being overrun. I still hear his voice in my head, and I still hear the gunfire that was so close. People started writing letters. They started writing notes. They started doing anything to be remembered in case they died. And I was told to do the same thing. Write the letter. Put it all down on paper and make it count. So I ask you graduates right now, could you write the letter? To whom would you write? What would you say? How do you summarize your life in a few short moments near its end? I don't know what you'd write, and you've probably never thought about this, but make sure you can write this sentence. I am who I always wanted to be. Today you may be a little scared, and you may be kicking yourself for feeling that way, but don't. Truth is, I like to be scared, just a little bit. I've been shot at, I've been beaten, I've been starved, I've been humiliated, And all of that was just for my wife after our last boys' weekend away. I think being scared is good. And I think the corollary is also true. Not being scared is bad. Too safe, too careful, not enough risk, not enough living, too much talking, not enough action. I'm not talking about playing games with your life. I'm talking about imagining things you never thought possible. I'm talking about actually savoring it when someone tells you, nope, can't be done, because you know deep down, you now have an opportunity to do the impossible. I've been told no more times than I can count. I was too small. I was too dumb. I stammered too much. I lacked talent. I was incapable of understanding. I was socially awkward. I had too much of a Midwestern accent. I spoke too slowly, I was told. After moving to the South, they told me I didn't speak slowly enough. Though I had a hard time seeing it, each time I was inspired a little bit more. Each time the accomplishment a little bit sweeter. Each time you can turn no into yes, it'll make you feel like you've lived a little bit more life than if you hadn't. So graduates, do one thing every day that scares you. And as Kafka said, in the process, you'll become the action hero of your own life. Graduates, our time's coming to an end, as is your time here at Georgetown. But as another doctor once said, don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened. Dr. Seuss. Your friends from this time in your life may be some of the best friends you will ever have. And it's true, you don't get this time back, it's gone. But the friends who shared this journey with you, they're still there, even if you don't get to see them every day. So final lesson, graduates. Of the few touchstones that you hold close to your heart, place lifelong friendships right there at the very top. Appreciate those friendships, nurture them, make them grow, and realize as you get older, these friendships will become some of the most valuable things you have in your life. Fly around the world, graduates, for the weddings of your friends. Be there for the births of their children, and always answer the call in their times of need. And tonight, well, let's just say hangovers, they last for a day, but memories, they last a lifetime. I love you, I'm with you, and I congratulate you.
Was wonderful. Thank you very much, Dr. Gupta. Very special reflections. Now the moment. Dean Jones will now present the graduates to President John DeGioia, who will confer the degrees. Dean Jones.
Good morning. We are here to honor the class of 2024, the 172nd medical school class to graduate from the School of Medicine. This year's graduating class provides us with a good cross-section of our country. Among the 174 graduates today, there are 81 men and 93 women. The youngest is 25, and the oldest is 40. Thirty-four of the states are represented, led by California, New York, Virginia, Maryland, New Jersey, and the District of Columbia. 46 members of this graduating class have an additional graduate degree. The graduating class has selected to be hooded by the following members of the faculty: Dr. Princey Kumar, Senior Associate Dean for Students, Professor and Chief of the Division of Infectious Disease; Dr. Marian Wolf-Gutierrez, Associate Dean for Clinical Education; Dr. Sarah Qureshi, Associate Professor of Family Medicine; Dr. Eileen Moore, Associate Professor of Medicine; Dr. Nancy Hu, Professor of Neurology; and Dr. Stephen Ray Mitchell, Dean Emeritus for Medical Education. Dr. Furlong, Senior Associate Dean for Curriculum, will now present the individual candidates. While we are committed to the freedom of expression, as you walk across the stage, we ask that you respect this event and the experience of your classmates and their families. Thank you for respecting your classmates and the audience.
Victor Peter Abdel III. Priscilla Ajalore. Nicholas Anver Aksu. Mohammed Mahmoud Al-Masri. Randy Mahi Amebang. Marielle Zahir Ante. Riza Ayubi. Audrey Bangs. Madi Barkorder. Should I keep going? Jacqueline Ashley Barnes. Laura Gosa Barrett. Hassan Bazi. Rachel Ann Belons. Sarika Rajkumari Baril, MD, MPH. Drew Klein Bolster. Alexander Michael Booz. David Alexander Boyd. William Michael Robert Boyle. Brittany Judith Bruckner. Megan Sarah Brophy. Rory Ashlyn Byrne. Janeth Rebecca Campbell. Ruben Castro. Thomas Shamelli. Heidi Hekyong Chong. Megan Kim Soo Chin. Savan Chintala Chuvru. Erica Janae Cho. Christopher Sungyeong Choi. Ashrar Chowdhury. Lauren J. Chung. Victor Frederick Cox. Verna Joy Kerfman. Amanda Jiangjuan Dahl. Tu Naya Dao. Gino Orlando Dinacola. Christina Noel Donahue. Mohammed Nasser El Souri. Layla Khalil Eder. Michael Chakunyam Azena. Grant Michael Fabrizio. Michael Anthony Venezio. Francisca Finkel. Anna Alexandra Fishbein. Brian Patrick Fitzgerald. Avery Dante Ford. Garrett McGrath Rodriguez Franzoni. Natasha Freed. Ariel Sydney Freed. Lee Ryan Friedman. Victoria Satonye Fubera. Aditi Gadre. Skylar Larkin Gaillard. Thank you. Lindsay Taylor Gallagher. Richard William Garrett. Michael Paul Gill. Paul Rylan Henderson. Akanksha Garish. Caleb Vandette Green. Jay Gupta. Naveen Gupta, MD, MPH. Kaylin Gwynn. Andy Mina Habib. Samuel J. Hahn. Shadi Hanukai. Lauren Michael Havens. Catherine Hay. Sarah Joan Hines. Crystal Marie Henderson. Cambria Lynn Houston. Allison Leanne Hill. Dionisio Ernesto Hippolito. Julia May Huang. Samuel Sinclair Huffman. Rachel Allison Jackson. Simran Sanjay Jatar. Adam Newell Bond Johnson. Tom Joseph Carrillo. Sheena Karkle. Elon Aaron Carlin. Akib Ahmed Khalid. Irfan Saban Khan, MD, PhD. Zubair Khan. Elias Kuyat. Brian Sangok Kim. Elizabeth Kim. Emily Y. Kim. Jamin Alexander Coe. Swetha Kishore Kochi. Peter Kalivas. Sean Quinlan Kyle. Anne Christine Laird. Jonathan James Paul Lawson. Charlotte Leap. Maggie Lee. John Minsub Lim. Suraya Lisa. Sarah Layton Lucas. Zachary James Lynch. Joshua Daniel McCall, MD, PhD. Lily Alexandra McLaughlin. There we go. Corinne Marie McCullough. Claire Dallin McNearlin. Sam Allen Michaelhall. Esteban Alberto Molino. J. Paul Narula. Dariush Darian Nahad. Carson Page Nizelek. Nikki No. Timothy O'Connor. Irina Jamin O. Alexandra Catherine O'Kane. Shian Nazar Omar. Ruba B. Amira. Vasalia Panchumarthi. Alejandro Perez Albea. Emily Elizabeth Phelps. Emma Piloponis. Alexandra Rachel Piselli. Soraya Poyen. Joseph Lee Posner, MD, PhD. Morgan Jane Potus. Frisha Salis Kazeda. Siva Rajamarthadan. Rimsha Reina. Kyle Edward Reichard. Catherine Clark Stefanishin Riley. Claire Rainey Russell. Miller Anderson Richmond, MD, MPH. Samantha Maria Rizzo. Ali Irene Rovrud. Jonathan Russell. Kayla Wadia Sakila. Rachel Schelling, MD, MPH. James H. Severin. Danielle Sidney Shapiro. Ayat Ali Hussein Sharif. David Wilson Skinner. Andrew Michael Smith. Andrew William Smith. Jeong Song. Shreyas Sorter. Jack Andrew George Stiley. Rajesh Supra. Ashka Milan Suvarnakar. Blake Edward Tyrone. Evan Jager Todd. Elizabeth Mary Torres. Lindsay Marlowe Tully. Michelle Andrea Valentine. Hunter Vandola. Christine Sutanto. Needy Vanter. Anthony James Videkis. Jake Anthony Wall. John Andrew Wall. Kyle Glenn Wallace. Megan Brooke Wallace. George Warda. Daniel Alexander White. Yasmin White. Jake Whitney. Charles Gregory Withington. Caroline Maggie Wu. Jerry Xiao. Lauren Elise Yap. Crystal Yi. Irma Tian Zhang.
Oh, you already got it. So we're about to give you another reason to give a round of applause, the conferring of the degrees. Will the class please stand for conferring of degrees and remain standing for the oath of Hippocrates? President Joya, as Dean of the Medical Education at the Georgetown University School of Medicine, I have the honor to present you these candidates for the degree of Doctor of Medicine. They have been duly examined and recommended by the faculty. I therefore ask that you bestow on these students the degree of Doctor of Medicine. I also ask that you bestow on our dual degree students their Doctor of Philosophy degrees.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Congress of the United States and by the Board of Directors of Georgetown University, I officially confer upon these candidates the degrees of Doctor of Medicine, and to the 4 MD PhD students, I grant the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Dr. Jones will now administer the oath of Hippocrates. Dr. Jones.
This oath, as you know, is quite sacred and has been recited by literally thousands of physicians. I invite all physicians in the audience to stand and recite the oath with us. You will find it on page 349 of the book, in case you don't have it memorized. So please join me simultaneously. I, Lee Jones, solemnly promise, not responsive, go with me. I know this is Sunday, but we're not going to do responsive reading, so we'll start again. I, Lee Jones, solemnly promise to God Almighty that according to my ability and judgment, I will endeavor at all times to observe the stipulations of this oath, which, through ageless tradition, has governed the conduct of my predecessors in the profession which I am about to enter. Appreciating the benefits of the instruction accorded to me, I promise to esteem and revere the teachers who have trained me in my science and art of medicine, to share my good fortune with them, and to relieve their necessities should want befall them. To all who are deserving, but to none who are unworthy, I will freely impart a knowledge of my science and art. I will adhere to the doctrine and prescribe the treatment which my ability and judgment assure me are most beneficial for my patients. I will abstain from everything which may be harmful or dangerous to them. I will attempt no treatment which evidently requires training and skill superior to mine. With purity of purpose and holiness of life, I will practice my profession. My every word and deed in the homes of my patients or in other places of treatment will be directed solely to the welfare of these patients. With the help of God's grace, they will find no occasion in my speech and actions to disrespect my profession. Whatever I see or hear as I practice my profession, which should not be revealed, I will not divulge because such knowledge must remain secret. As long as I keep this promise, I hope to enjoy happiness in life, success in my profession, and the respect of my fellow men and women. But may the reverse be my lot if I should willfully violate my solemn word now given before God. Please be seated.
It's now my privilege to welcome to the podium President John DeGioia, who will offer final reflections. President DeGioia.
Well, it's a privilege for all of us to be here with all of you. Commencement is such a special moment in the life of a university community. A special word of gratitude to our commencement speaker, Dr. Sanjay Gupta. We want to thank you for being with us, sharing your insights with our graduates. You've made this very special day that much more special with your presence. Thank you very much. Over these past 9 years, we have been fortunate to have had the leadership of Dr. Healton at our medical center and our School of Medicine. And Ed, as you conclude these years of service, we're deeply grateful to you for the contributions that you've made to our community, to the future of health sciences, and to medical education at Georgetown. And on behalf of all of us, I wish to thank you. And to Dean Jones and to our faculty and staff colleagues whose efforts every day have sustained the work of our community, I wish to express our deep appreciation. To the families and loved ones who have accompanied our students on their journeys, we're honored by your presence here today. This class is a testament to you, the families, the loved ones, the communities that they call home. And to our graduates, congratulations. This is your day, a celebration of all that you've accomplished, a day to honor the time that we've shared together as a university community. A community brings all this to life. We're always seeking, always striving to build a community that sustains the mission of our work together. How do we form community? What does it look like to share in a common project? What does it mean to be members of a community, of this community? 4 years ago, when many of you were joining our community in the fall of 2020, at a time of great challenge in our world, we received an extraordinary gift, a deeper vocabulary to describe our work here, the community that we seek to foster here. We were in the midst of a global pandemic at a time when so much was being asked of us, and no one more so than our medical community. And all of us were seeking to understand what it meant to be connected to one another, what community could feel like, how we could support one another and support our commitment to the common good at a time of significant uncertainty in our world. It was in October of that year when Pope Francis shared a set of reflections in a special letter which he called Fratelli Tutti, on fraternity and social friendship. In it, he sought to address what it means to be part of a common project, what it means to live in community, the responsibility and the gift that comes from sharing our lives with one another. He described the need to embrace, in his words, a culture of encounter capable of transcending our differences and our divisions, a society where differences coexist, complementing, enriching, and illuminating one another. Each of us, he wrote, and I quote, can learn something from others. To speak of a culture of encounter means that we, as a people, should be passionate about meeting others, seeking points of contact, building bridges, planning a project that includes everyone. I can imagine no better way of describing our community's way of life, and I can imagine no better calling in this moment as you begin your vocation. Each of you have been called to a life of service, to building and sustaining a community of people devoted to the health and well-being of others. As physicians, you've been asked to take on and you've accepted an extraordinary responsibility for your patients and for fostering communities of care. These months and years since you first arrived at Georgetown have introduced new challenges, profound and urgent challenges that at times can feel overwhelming and intractable. In community, together, we can imagine and realize new ways to care for one another and to care for those in our world who so desperately need our engagement. As you reach this next stage, you carry this community, this way of life with you. May this be a source of consolation for you. May you always be reminded of your membership here in this university community. Today, with this commencement, you embark on the next stage of your journeys deeply committed to health and healing in our global community. It is an honor for all of us to share this moment with you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, President DeGioia. Thank you. And now, Dr. Dan Weitz will lead us in our alma mater. Alumni, we hope you have it memorized already. I invite alumni to join everyone. If the words have escaped you, they are printed in the back of the program. And please stand.
Hello, Georgetown, alma mater, swift Potomac's lovely daughter, ever watching by the water, smiles on us today. Now her children gather round her, lo, with garlands they have crowned her, reverent hands and found and wound her with the blue and gray. Wave her colors ever, furl her standards never, but raise it high and proudly cry, may Georgetown live forever. Where Potomac's tide is streaming, from her spires and steeples gleaming. See the grand old banner gleaming, Georgetown's blue and gray.
Right, we are reaching the conclusion. Please remain standing in place until the academic procession is completed. The university will hold the Law Center commencement on Healy Lawn here in approximately 1 hour. So out of consideration for those graduates and their guests, we ask you to leave the area with decorum, of course, but also with alacrity so that the seats can be reset for the next event. Dr. Jones will now give the benediction. Dr. Jones.
Doctors, I just wanted to say that. Dear God, as we graduate our newest class of physicians, we pray for their continued dedication to this calling, grace to make wise choices, humility to seek help, strength to hold the pain and suffering of others, empowerment to address wrongs, patience to hear all voices, and resilience to continue this work. Let us find wisdom in the words of St. Ignatius of Loyola, some paraphrased. Help us work as if success depended upon ourselves alone, but with a heartfelt conviction that we are doing nothing and God everything. Help us practice that love is shown more in deeds than in words. Help us know that whatever you are doing that makes you feel the most alive, that is where your God is. that the person who sets about making others better is wasting their time unless they begin with themselves. That we shall one day find in heaven as much rest and joy and respite as we ourselves have dispensed in our life. Amen.
Rick, as always. Thanks, everybody. You're the best.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe it's still too soon. That feels way too soon.
Is it happening next year? That's true. You said it wasn't going to happen this year. Is it happening next year?
So Russ's check you'll get in 3 weeks. The rest you'll get in 3 months. That's right. As per usual. That's true. If they remember. Oh yeah, those guys. I shouldn't have dropped my horn the third time. The third time. Thank you guys. Yeah, thank you, Chuck.